Hey guys, welcome back to Sword of Convallaria. In today's video, we're going to be doing our guide for Weapon Trial 1. Now, this is at difficulty level 7 when you first get there. Things will definitely evolve as we get into the higher stages, and if things change, I will let you guys know. But I wanted to put together a completely free-to-play team that anyone should be able to put together. Hopefully, there's only one unit that's kind of a epic that you might have to pull, but there's just better options that hopefully some people will have anyway. So, I will be doing Weapon Trial 2 tomorrow. I have already done that one, recorded it. I recorded it at the end of the weekend, so I'll drop that on reset if you guys want to check out that one. And if there is anything else you guys want me to make videos for, as always, please let me know in the comments. So the first thing I want to do is I want to jump into this trial. We're going to jump into difficulty 8 just to look at it because I can't go back into difficulty 7. And we're just going to take a look, and I want to explain the base mechanics and things that you really need to focus on in this battle. So this is the team that I went ahead and used. I used Lightning and Ballista. Now these are the two units that you kind of would have to pull for this team, along with the others, but they're lower rarity. Now, with Lightning and Ballista, if you do have a Gloria, that straight replaces Lightning, and if you have any other strong range damage dealer, that just replaces Ballista. So whichever, like for me, I would be using Gloria and Beryl for me personally. Just keep in mind with this boss, you do not go into melee range. Do not go the tile in front of the boss. If you bring Gloria, she is there for her buffing capabilities and also for her AoE attack, the sword, which she can use from range to hit the boss and to throw the spear. She is not there to go into melee range. That is a very important thing. You never want to put anyone in melee range of the boss. That is one of the most important things in this boss fight that you want to take note of. But like I said, this team is pretty fine. If we look at here, Outlaw or Archer, dude, I can't even say that, is really, really handy. As you can see, his gear is not that great on him, but basically he just has a few things. He has, after attacking, he gets the attack down, which is fantastic. And then we have this one over here. After attacking, inflicts physical defense down 3. So ideally, physical defense, physical attackers are great, but still, Beryl just does that much damage that you can bring her anyway, and it still is perfectly fine. And then we've got the piercing damage as well with the infection. So really, really solid kit that we can put into this guy. That is just basically super helpful. This guy's just a great debuffer in general. And then for this one, we had Ballista as our main damage dealer. So I do have some leveled up gear on him. And then he is meant to be our main damage dealer. Now, I went ahead and picked up this one, which buffs him. Lightning has the same buff as well, but, you know, it just means you can have higher uptime if you want to. He's got a great passive where he gets the concentrate, so his basic attacks can deal a great deal of damage as well. And then this one here, we've got his basic attacks ignore 40% of the target's defense. I still use his skill a fair bit, but they both hit bloody hard is essentially what happens. And then we have this one here, which is if they're healthy, attack increases by 15%. So this one's good to use early. But basically, he's just a ranged damage dealer. Then obviously, we're bringing in Angel, who is our healer. And then I brought in Papal Ice Priest. Now, this was a take when I was trying to form a free-to-play team. Because he has this ability where he can reduce AoE damage taken. Now, depending on your gear levels and levels of your characters, as you can see with mine, I am level 38 at the moment. I think I cleared it at 36 using Gloria and Beryl. But depending on that, I don't think you really need the Ice Priest. This was just because you are forced to take some AoE damage in this fight. And so that's why I brought this with the thought of it. Plus he is ranged. But I really do think like Mytha could have just fit in this slot even better almost. Because I noticed my units weren't taking enough damage that I think they would have been killed with the AoE, but you just got to play it up with your account and your gear and stuff like that and see how it goes. Because I feel like this kit with Mytha, where you have the instant heal and then the AoE heal, would have probably just been a better play because you get the extra buffs as well and you just have an extra healer. Because you'll see when I play through the run, we do start getting a little bit low. So I definitely think you could swap the Ice Priest with Mytha and be perfectly fine, but it just depends. Like I said, if you have a better healer, you know, if you've got like Samantha or you've got ideally Inanna, you can probably get away with this team because you got more healing throughput. Now, a very important thing is your tactics. I run these tactics. This one is super important for getting the energy up on my healer, on my Angel, because she doesn't have the greatest regeneration. Now, ideally, I'd wait until I get this one out, but often I didn't have the energy because we are using the March command as well fairly often, and then just using this to get her the extra energy so she can keep using her AoE heal because we do need to cleanse a lot as well. So that is the team. Now, let's go through the actual core strategy of the boss. So the boss has a few things. Now, first of all, is the reaction. When receiving a melee attack from the front, deals 80% magical AoE damage to all enemies in a horizontal row. So essentially, this makes you not want to use melee attacks. And then when receiving melee attacks, the damage is increased by 50%. Immune to this effect at... What? Immune to... Dude, I don't even know, but it puts the stigma... Basically, dude, unless I'm just stupid, that just read super funny to me in translation. But... don't go into melee, essentially, is what we have. Now, we have a couple things the boss does in a specific order, and we'll go through it when we go through it. But basically, the first thing he's going to do is he's going to put a debuff on 2 of your allies. So when he's doing that, you got to make sure they will have a little, they'll have the tile that will flash under them. You never want to stand in that tile. You want to move out of it. And that will also put a stacking debuff on you, which is this stigma. Now, Stigma character loses 5% of their health at the end of turn, and this stacks. Now, you want to be cleansing as much as possible, and that's why with Angel, you want to be using Angel's heal every turn, because Angel has the ability to cleanse the debuffs. So whether it's with the single target one or the AoE one, you want to be dispelling one debuff at least a turn to keep your units clean of those debuffs so they don't just absolutely melt away. That is a very important thing. Now, the next thing you have is there will be a phase when the boss does a telegraph, which is going to, engulf like the center part of the field. So if you get hit by this, you're pretty much just done. So you don't want to be in that middle portion of the boss, like these 3, the whole way. It's a really obvious one. It'll be telegraphed. So what you want to do when that happens is you want to get to the sides whilst still avoiding any tiles that are flashing because of the stigma application. Keep that in mind. And then the final one that happens is after the boss does the big AoE, it will select one of your heroes as a target, and it will put a 1 tile radius square around them, and basically the next attack of the boss will be hitting that ally. Now, when that happens, you want to have at least 2 other allies in that box with your ally who is marked. If we look at, I believe it is this one at the end of the turn, prepares for 1 turn and deals AoE damage to the target with the lowest HP percentage and all enemies within 1 tile radius. Deals 180% damage if there's only 1 target. The damage is decreased by 25% for each additional enemy hit, up to 50%. So up to 50%, 25 plus 25 is 50. So you want to have 2 allies in that square with them. Putting any more in that is just extra healing that you have to do, which is really not worth it. But what you want to do is you have 2 allies that are healthy in that square and another ally that is healthy closest to the boss, because after the boss does that attack, they will always do a single target attack on the closest ally to the boss. So keep that in mind. So the basic rotation is marks 2 allies with that marks their tiles. You need to move out of it. When he has the telegraph in the middle, you got to move out of it. And then when he has the telegraph around 1 ally, you got to get 2 others in that group and 1 healthy ally close to the boss to soak up the single target hit. That is the basic strategy for this one. Like I said, you can use a lot of different units in here. It's pretty much simple. Just use ranged attack, have a healer with cleansing, and then you can play through it like that. I'll go through this replay and show you guys so that you can get a feel for it. But this is essentially what we did. Where is it? This one here, weapon trial 1. That's correct. Let's go ahead and play. All right. So I'm going to speed it up. We'll go pretty quick and see how we go. So as you can see, I just start moving forward. I buff my ballista because he's my main damage dealer. I do have a ranged attack there coming out from lightning. And as you can see, that's that single target attack that he's going to do after he does the big AoE as well. So you got to keep units topped off. And you can see the 2 lightning squares that I've got to move out of. So when it's lightning's turn, I've got to move lightning out of that square. So there we go. We do some just tapping in some little bits of damage. There we go. I'm just trying to move out of the way. I've got that dot ticking. Here is the telegraph. So this is the one we need to move out of. So as soon as the boss goes here, we're going to move ourselves out of the way. Keep that healing up because we need to cleanse those stacks. You only cleanse 1 stack per time you use it. So keep that in mind. I had to move out of that little tile as well. Here comes the big AoE. Now he's going to target my lowest health ally, which I think is my healer at this stage. Yep, so my healer, you can see the box around the healer now. So that is a very important thing. But we've got all these other little tiles. I'm just going to pause it. You can see we've got all these other little tiles that have the static on them. So you want to have at least two. I think sometimes here I do put 3 in, but at least 2 allies in that box around the healer by the time the boss takes his turn. However, you still need to avoid all of these tiles because you don't want to get the extra stacks on your allies. So you really have to plan out your turns. Make sure you have turn orders displayed so you can see who's moving when, and you can adjust everything whilst trying to do some damage in between. So let's keep going. So I moved Ballista there because that's going to put Ballista in range of this, and then I'm pretty safe from there on. So now I stupidly put my mage in there. I just absolutely dumb decision. Wait, I put them all in there the first time? Anyway, I'm an idiot. You only need 2, and I'll show you that later on. This is actually a good way to compare it. So you can see, luckily, I've got my tankiest unit up the front, even though I put them all in. And if I put someone else up the front, they probably would have died after taking double damage. Luckily, lightning is a little bit chunky for me, which is good. So we go in there. That was me putting the extra energy onto my healer because she's always low on energy. So like I said, you want to keep getting that energy into her with the talent to be able to continually heal. That's like a very important thing. Also, using the fortune tarot card, the the one where it gives you random stuff, it often provides a heal. So honestly, if you're struggling for healing, putting a bunch of those on your units can actually be very beneficial because it can help you get that healing across the board. And now we're just playing through the general gist. We just avoid the AoE, and then he's going to mark one of our units, which is going to be the healer again. So she's got that square around her. So now we're just tapping in some damage. So Ballista is going to be in range of that attack, which is perfectly fine. So now I'm probably going to move the healer out a bit. Okay, yep, so this is a perfect setup. So now I've got 2 in range of the healer, so they're not going to die. You can see they don't take too much damage because it does get mitigated, which is exactly what we wanted. And then that single target attack goes on to my lightning, who can survive it. And that's the very important thing. And as you can see, we do start getting pretty low, so you do need to play around with healing. Like I said, maybe we could have dropped the Ice Mage and put in a secondary heals and been pretty fine. It just depends if the damage would have one-shot me. But I did like the mitigation that the Ice Mage was providing, so that's the kind of play I went with. And like I said, you can use the fortune tarot card on more of your characters to get the heals at the end of the turn. I didn't think about that when I went into it, but it is a really good strategy to get a bunch of extra heals across the board. And as you can see, it's just literally rinse and repeat and just have enough healing throughput to get through it and enough damage to get the boss down. And that is basically the strategy. So once again, if you have better damage dealers, sweet. If you have better buffers, if you have Gloria or something, sweet. But just don't take a melee in. And that's the basic process of this battle. So now you can see my Ice Priest has the ring, so I'm going to put Ballista there. Ballista is going to be the one that actually takes the single target hit, so I'm going to move my Ice Priest, I believe, out of there. Oh no, those 2 are going to get it, okay. Oh no, I move afterwards, yes, because we had the March command on. So as you can see there, we're just buffing up Ballista. Now I'm going to put my Archer, who's also pretty heavy, into that range. And so by doing this, my Lightning, who is super low, I have left out of any attack. Not going to get the AoE and not going to get the single target, and everyone's going to be pretty good. Now you'll see here that if the battle went on too much longer, because we are stacking up those dots, even though we're trying to cleanse as much as possible, we do struggle. And there we go. There was that extra one where I'm giving her that extra energy so she can do the AoE heal, because the AoE heal is very important. And now I'm just going all out damage because I'm like, okay, we need to kill this boss. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Maybe I avoid one more, or maybe I go hand with Ballista. No, I avoid one more. Okay, yeah. So that's it. Like I said, it's pretty basic. We do get pretty well top there. The only one that's low is my healer, which is a bit of an issue if we had to go too much longer. But there you go. There is that tarot card that gives the AoE heal. I only had one of them equipped for this battle, I think. But if you get more of them, it can help you heal up a lot more. And that is the basic process. You just keep moving around. And now we're into the kill zone. So now we're just going in for the kill. I think we got plenty of turns. Yeah, we're on 12 of 16. So still plenty of turns left. It's not too much of a damage check. Not like some of not like number 2. But there we go. Now we can go in, tap some damage. And Lightning's going to finish it off with that one. And that is job done. So that is the basic principle. Like I said, it is a very, very simple fight. mechanically, and it's actually quite easy to manage. It's just sometimes those tiles get really awkward with the positioning of the lightning and you're trying to avoid it. But once again, I do think you can drop the Ice Priest. If you can survive that AoE, you can drop the Ice Priest and just put in something like a Mytha with double healing set and you'll be pretty fine. You can drop lightning for Gloria if you have her. You can drop Angel for any of the other healers if you have them. I'm pretty sure they have cleanse, but you need cleanse. That's very important. But Outlaw Archer is just an absolutely fantastic unit for the attack break, the defense break, especially if you're doing physical damage mainly. Just a fantastic unit for this boss in general. So that is a look at the team. That is a look at the strategy. Once again, I will have boss 2 coming up tomorrow after the reset, and then I'll try and get you boss 3 as well once that reset happens as well. And I will update these teams and stuff like that as we get into higher difficulties, as we try doing more. But definitely leave in the comments if you guys have any different strategies. So these are by no means the only strategy. This is just a full free-to-play because I like to do things with all free-to-play units. So if you can see that they can be done with those, you guys can sub in your better units and still get the job done. But anyway, guys, as always, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.